It's good. I can talk about my dad, who has only ever given me 2 pieces of songwriting advice over the years, luckily. And I've ignored them both. And both times it's about lyrics and how I could improve the lyrics that I've written, which I absolutely could, but his suggestions never seemed to make sense to me. The first time, well, not the first time, but one of the times was, I played that song before called Come to My Apartment, and there's this whole long thing about wait out the rain, because I'm like, oh yeah, well, let's literally wait out the rain. And he did not dig that, and he kept trying to give me other rhymes for rain that I could then go into, play Coltrane and go under a plane and all sorts of, just whatever. And then the other thing, and the much more important thing that I did not listen to my dad and worked out really well for the two of us, was that I was in college, and back in college, Tracy Lord's Ex-Lovers was the band I was in, and we were just awful. I mean, we were the worst band that I'd ever heard, and we used to play on campus, and people would throw salt shakers at us, and so I wrote a song about us called We're Not Gonna Make It. And it was a song about how bad we were and how we were never going to get anywhere with our musical careers. And my dad heard it and said, it's a really catchy melody, but people aren't going to be into that whole negative thing. You should change it to We Are Going to Make It. And actually, it was a song that I was interested in his opinion about because I grew up listening to folk music, which is what my parents were into. They were, I guess, kind of hippies and Brooklyn liberal, whatever, Jews, and I got dragged to Washington D.C. all through childhood for various marches, and was tortured by nonstop Joan Baez and Pete Seeger concerts and recordings, and so actually this little anthem that I'd written for my band, We're Not Gonna Make It, sort of references We Shall Overcome, which is a big Joan Baez number, if you don't know. I mean, she didn't write it, but whatever. She incorporated it into her live act to much success. But anyway, he said, you gotta change that and make it a more positive song, which I didn't do. And as an on-campus band in college, we would occasionally get to open for the very popular, good on-campus band, which was called Asleep Standing. And this guy, Chris Ballou, was the lead singer of Asleep Standing. Anyway, cut to 10 years later, after college, Chris Ballou moved back to Seattle, Washington, which is where he was originally from. And I was living in Brooklyn, working for like $8 an hour at the Park Slope Copy Center, making copies and doing deliveries. And I get this call from Chris saying, hey, what's going on? I've got this new band, and we've got an album coming out, and we've actually recorded a cover of your song, We're Not Gonna Make It, and I just want to let you know, because there's probably going to be some money coming your way, and you need to sign some papers, and whatever. It's a very long story involving burning bridges and shit, but I'm not going to go into that. But the point is, this song wound up on this album. I was kind of bummed out because I was having my own musical struggles at the time. All of that Chad was about to put out our own little album on an indie label out of Philadelphia, so you could see what the art prospects were. And I was kind of bummed out that this album was coming out on Columbia Records, which was kind of a big deal, but I was like, there's no way this is going to sell anything. And once again, I'm not going to make any money. And it was also kind of weird because this song was about this band that I was in, and it was our anthem. And they had really taken it and it had become their anthem. All the reviews of the album referenced this song, and nobody really talked about it as a cover. They all thought, oh, this is this funny song that this band has written about how bad they are. And they used to they still end all their concerts with it, and all the kids go crazy and do like pogo dancing to it and whatever. Anyway, so I had like mixed emotions about even letting them use the song. But I did, wisely. And the album went on to sell like 3 million copies. And I started getting these crazy royalty checks every couple of months, like $30,000, $40,000. And I lived upstairs from this record store, which for some reason would cut out the Billboard charts and tape it to their window. every Tuesday. And I would come down the stairs to go to work. I actually also lived in the building where the Park Slope Copy Center was, the ground floor. And so I'd come down for work. First I'd check out the Billboard charts, see this stupid album like climbing the charts, and then go to my $8 an hour job, and then at lunchtime check the mail and say, oh, I got 40 grand today, all right. And then, so, you know, I made a lot of money off this song that my dad told me to change the lyrics to. And the only song I've ever made any money off of. And that's why I'm actually in Wisconsin, because we sort of had enough money to put a down payment on a house, but not in New York. And my wife's parents are in Wisconsin. We figured, well, let's, you know, we'll hang out with her family for a while. And here we are. So I'm going to sing that song for you. I'm going to sing my moneymaker for you. This is for my dad. And I'm going to screw it up, I'm sure. Because you'll see it's very complicated. We're not gonna make it. No, we're not gonna make it. 'Cause there's a million other bands with a million better songs. Drummers that can drum and singers who can sing. Deep in my heart, I do believe that we're not gonna make it. No, we're not gonna make it. 'Cause we don't have the talent. We don't have the time, we don't have the patience, and we don't know how to rhyme. Deep in my heart, I do believe that we're not gonna make it. No, we're not gonna make it. No.